old colleague, Congressman Peter King. He serves, of course, as a member of the House Committee on Homeland Security, and he's a member of the Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. Pete, I got to ask you, Washington must be abuzz today about a little piece of, dare we say, political and social intelligence, Colin Powell's hacked emails. Your reaction to all of that, and specifically where former Secretary of State Powell said in one of the emails, HRC, being Hillary Rodham Clinton, could have killed her own email scandal 2 years ago by merely telling everyone honestly what she had done and not tie me to it. So Colin there upset about becoming the scapegoat.
Yeah, now, listen, ordinarily, in fact, I do hate the idea of private emails being made public, et cetera, et cetera. Having said that, it is really intriguing to see what people do think of Hillary Clinton, what they do think of President Obama. And in this case, you have Colin Powell, very respected. He'd be much more moderate than you would be and I would be. The fact is, he is respected for his integrity. And the hard feelings, or the really caustic feelings he has toward Hillary Clinton, really say a lot. And how, in this case, this is really trying to use a national hero, trying to ensnare Colin Powell in Hillary Clinton's own email scandal is just wrong. I mean, Colin Powell was trying to give her advice. It was obviously very separate advice from what she ended up doing. But for her to turn around and try to use that against him, to put him in the same boat as her, it's just the wrong thing to do. And especially to Colin Powell. I mean, maybe all is fair in love and war and politics, but now when it comes to a national institution such as Colin Powell, here he was trying to do the right thing, and his words get distorted, his advice gets distorted, and she tries to bring him in to her scandal.
Well, speaking of that email scandal, there was scandalous behavior yesterday, in my estimation, in that hearing before the House Government Reform and Oversight Committee. There was Hillary's prime staffer who basically failed to show up even with a subpoena, and others who did claimed their Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. Now, Pete, you and I know, had that been a Republican walking out or a Republican claiming the Fifth, the Washington press corps would chat about it incessantly. It would be front page news. But in the world of the Washington Post and other leftist outlets, it creates scarcely a yawn. Your take on what it means to the ability of the legislative branch of government to really engage in oversight and, of course, the inevitable political fallout before November.
Listen, I think one of the realities we have to accept is that the media is biased. We have to frame all our arguments, all our strategy, and all our tactics with that in mind. So we have to do a better job of communicating. Listen, Jason Chaffetz has done a great job. But as a party, as conservatives, as Republicans, we have to be much more willing to carry on these fights and not just have a one-day stand or a one-day hearing. There should be an organized movement to just day after day after day drive this home. I mean, here you have a person running for president of the United States and people who are involved with her in something which is a matter of such great controversy, emails, the email server, and they're taking the Fifth Amendment. Now, listen, everyone has the right to take the Fifth Amendment, but if you're running for president, there's a real issue, a real question, why people who are involved with you are taking the Fifth Amendment. What are they trying to hide? It's just because you have the right to take the Fifth Amendment doesn't mean we have the right to question what it is that they're taking the Fifth Amendment about. What potentially is the danger that they're either trying to protect themselves from or protect Secretary Clinton from? So, no, the media should be all over this. They're not. So I think it's up to us to make much more of a concerted effort and do it in an intelligent way. Because otherwise the media will just pass over as being more of the same. We have to show that we know what we're talking about, and because the case is there. Jason Chaffetz has done a great job of laying out the facts, but one man can't do it by himself. And we have to make sure we do it in a very effective way. There's no need to overstate this. The facts are bad enough.
Well, Pete, let me turn to something else where the facts apparently are not going to fall in your favor. You have been working very hard on that bill that would allow the families of the 9/11 victims to pursue lawsuits against Saudi Arabia. It passed the House, passed the Senate, but now President Obama says he's going to veto the bill because he is insisting it would make the U.S. vulnerable to lawsuits in the courts of other nations. You've called on Hillary to get involved in this and try to persuade President Obama not to sign a veto. Do you think she is going to lift a finger? Go ahead, sir.
My understanding is the president is going to veto it today or tomorrow. And the arguments they're raising are phony arguments. This was all considered when we wrote the law. It's a finely written law. It's very precise. What it says is that if a foreign government plans or is involved or coordinates in any way a terrorist attack in our homeland, they can be sued for that. And this is not anything drastically new, because the way the law all along has been that if a country is involved in a terrorist attack, for instance, if they paid off somebody in Manhattan to carry out a terrorist attack, we can sue them. The way the families can sue them. The way the court has interpreted this case, though, is saying that because if the Saudis did it, they did it overseas, and the attack was carried out in the United States, that they can't be sued because the actual planning did not occur in the United States. We're saying that's a distinction, rather difference. If they were involved at all, whether the planning was done in Saudi Arabia or the planning was done in New York or Washington or Shanksville, that the families should have the right to sue. And that was the way the law was intended years ago when it was first written. You always had the right to sue a foreign government for torts carried out, and certainly this would be a tort. So, listen, President Obama knows that. The Saudi lobbyists on Capitol Hill, listen, he is making arrangements with the Saudis, and in some ways they're helpful in the war against terrorism. In many ways they're not. They play both sides of the fence. So this lawsuit, in addition to bringing justice for the 9/11 families, what it also does, it sends a signal to countries like Saudi Arabia they can't continue to play it both ways.
Congressman Peter King, Republican of New York, joining us live from Capitol Hill via telephone. Pete, we always appreciate your time. Now, when we come back, Johnny Moore speaks out on the continued persecution of Christians in the Middle East and elsewhere. He's even coined a new word, Christophobia. He thinks it belongs in the dictionary. He defines it and shows us some of those public luminaries who may be involved in it. That and your calls as we continue on America Talks Live here on Newsmax TV.
This is the Nativity Cross, a symbol of the unwavering faith and lasting love for our Lord Jesus Christ. But why is this cross special? Because of the stone in the center, a stone that came from the cave of the Nativity in Bethlehem, the actual birthplace of Jesus.
Knowing this cross as a stone from where Jesus was born makes me feel so much closer to him.
And now you can feel closer to our Lord with your very own Nativity Cross. Each handcrafted cross measures almost 2 inches in length and width and is available in stunning gold tone or brilliant stainless steel. The star in the middle of the cross represents the exact spot where Jesus was born.
This is the only cross that gives us the biblical portrayal of the birth of Christ through the nativity stone in the center.
There is no greater gift that you could give than a symbol of your love for Jesus Christ.
I gave the cross to my daughter, and when I told her that it had a stone from where Jesus was born, her eyes lit up with joy.
There is a limited amount of these precious nativity stones left in the world. Call or go online and order this breathtaking cross in your choice of gold-toned or stainless steel for only $29.99. It comes with this frameable certificate of authenticity signed by the High Priest of the Church of the Nativity, plus this beautiful faith case. As a special gift, we'll include the matching diamond-cut rope chain absolutely free. And when you order right now, we'll also include this magnificent Guardian Angel Nativity Stone brooch to protect and guide you every day. Just pay separate processing and handling. Call or go online to thenativitycross.com. That's thenativitycross.com.
Non-lawyer spokesperson. Attention! Did your doctor implant an IVC filter to trap blood clot